Nothing I did was working. The more I tried, the more out of control my eating became. Then, I did something I hadn't tried before. I became a savvy detective and figured things out. If I can do it, so can you. Find out more at solveyouroutofcontroleating.com.
Hi, welcome to Solve Your Out of Control Eating, where we solve real-life eating issues. I'm Michelle Holtzberger, a clinical social worker.
And I'm Victoria Todd, a child and adult psychoanalyst and an eating disorder specialist.
But in the virtual world, we are savvy detectives who solve real-life eating mysteries. And we're going to teach you how to become a savvy detective too. So grab your cap, your magnifying glass, and your notebook and share in the comments. So, Sherlock, what's our mystery for today?
The case of Bill, who has some very interesting eating symptoms.
Okay, well, here we go. Step into our virtual office for this brief therapy session. And then stick around afterwards. You'll hear our detective work and our practical advice. Now, here's Bill.
Hey there, brought you a new cartoon, a good one.
I see this one's about therapy.
Yeah, you don't like it?
Just wondering about what you're telling us.
Oh Lord, it's a cartoon, come on. Don't you think it's funny? You know, you're too serious. You need to lighten up a little. Life's too short not to laugh a little. But I know what you're thinking.
Oh, tell me.
You're thinking that I need to take my therapy more seriously. After all, this isn't Comedy Central.
Is it possible that maybe those are your thoughts, not mine? And possible that parts of you want to take your therapy more seriously and get the help you need?
Maybe, but you're reminding me of my doctor. He's a sourpuss too. Just saw him the other day. He was really letting me have it about my high blood pressure, cholesterol, glucose. Wants me to go on a strict diet, so he's sending me to a nutritionist. But that would be a load of laughs. Jeesh. I can't catch a break anywhere. Even my neighbor gives me grief. He's always making wisecracks about my weight.
I wonder how that makes you feel.
I don't mind. He's just kidding. It's no big deal.
Now, is this the same neighbor who borrowed your lawnmower and returned it without any gas?
Yeah, that's him.
You know, some people would be angry about that.
Not me.
Wonder why.
I don't like to let shit like that get to me.
Well, this reminds me of something else. Remember when your friend said he would pick you up at the airport, but then he never showed up?
Yeah, but he's a busy guy. It was really no big deal. I took an Uber.
I wonder.
No, really, I didn't care. It takes me a lot to get mad.
Maybe. Or maybe mad is a hard feeling for you to have.
You're probably right about that.
Wonder why. Must be a good reason. Don't seem to want to talk about this?
No, I can talk about it. Actually, I did get a little upset this last weekend.
Tell me.
Well, my parents came over for a cookout and brought their dog, Bandit. I was grilling in the backyard. It's fenced in, and Bandit and my dog, Barkley, were having a good old time, running around, snooping, treeing squirrels, having lots of dog fun. Everything went really well until it was time for my mom and dad to go home. When my dad opened the gate, both dogs took off. I figured they'd run around the neighborhood a little and then come right back, but my mom, she's the nervous type. She got real upset, started bawling her eyes out. Was so afraid the dogs get hit by a car on Sand Run Parkway. They really sailed down that road. So me and my dad went over looking for them. I finally corralled Bandit, leashed him, and turned him over to my dad, who took him home while I looked for Barkley. I found him right away, headed back. But when I got home, Dad told me that he had beat the hell out of Bandit. I was so upset. I went running around the house looking for him, and I found him cowering in the back bedroom. I sat on the floor and held him really tight. Poor little guy peed all over the floor. That's how scared he was. Scared. He was terrified. I couldn't believe it. I wasn't gone that long. I felt terrible. I would never have left Bandit with my dad if I thought he would beat him. And then I started wondering, did it happen before? Maybe many times. I don't know about it.
I'm wondering about something too, Bill. I wonder if Bandit wasn't the only victim of your dad's abuse.
No. He abused me too. I try not to think of this stuff. I try to always be chipper, big, jovial, fat guy, but that's all fake. Underneath this fat suit, I'm really so damn sad.
Now it's time for the detective work. So it's hard to think of this one as fun because Bill is such a sad guy.
I know it. Reminds me of an old song, The Tears of a Clown When There's No One Around. Certainly not uncommon. It's a defense mechanism called reversal of affect, turning a frown upside down, and Bill is a perfect example of it. Cracking jokes, keeping everything on the surface level. But the therapist did a masterful job here pointing out his ambivalence. Part of him wants to make everything into a joke, but there's another part of him, the healthier part of him, that wants to be serious and get help.
Yeah, she also did a really nice job of challenging his denial of his mad feelings.
Yes, he's still got a way to go before he can know about his anger, really rage. But he's now ready to work on his sad feelings. What did you think about the dad who left the dogs out and then beats his?
Ugh. Do you think the dad was maybe like embarrassed and punished the dog for his mistake?
Punish the dog for just being a dog. Yeah, that's what I thought too.
Poor dog.
Yes, Bill sure identified with Bandit, who was also the victim of his dad's brutality.
Yes, that's when the floodgates really open.
And there was Bill's mother.
Who didn't protect either one of them, Bandit or Bill.
Exactly. Bawling her eyes out, worried that Bandit would get hurt, hit by a car, and then letting her husband beat the hell out of him.
Just like he beat the hell out of Bill. And then I'm sure with her knowledge and no protection.
Exactly. And you and I both know from decades of working with victims of child abuse that the rage they feel for the non-protecting parent is every bit as strong, sometimes even stronger, than the rage they feel for the abuser. And we also know that there is a very high correlation between childhood abuse and eating disorders, particularly overeating.
Right, shoving down the food inside of them like they shovel their mad feelings, just keeping it all down there.
Many overweight patients have told me about feeling invisible. If you live in an abusive home, there's safety in being invisible. And being overweight, that can serve as a suit of armor, protecting you from the slings and the arrows of the cruel world.
Well, we always like to offer some practical advice for those who are not in therapy. Any suggestions?
Sure. Back to Bill and his defense mechanism of turning a frown upside down. Is this something you do? Do you, like Bill, have a hard time acknowledging, maybe even knowing about sad and or mad feelings? If so, give it some thought. Realize that you are doing this for a very good reason. What would happen if you felt sad? What would happen if you felt mad? What happened in the past when you did? What happened when others did? If you have a trusted friend, talk with them about this. And if you don't, journal and try to make connections between your present behavior and the past.
Well, I hope we hear more about Bill as his therapy progresses and, as he gets on friendlier terms with his feelings.
Me too.
Well, that's it for now, but there are more mysteries like Bill's to come. So be sure to give us a like, subscribe, hit the bell so you don't miss a single episode, and share this with others, and we'll see you next week. And remember,
Keep searching for clues.